Good morning, everyone. Happy World Cup draw day. Today is the day that we're going to figure out who is the US and other nations are going to be draw at. Man, it's been a long time. I never thought that we were going to get to this point. But other than that, we are happy that we are finally here. We are um, going to wait until the draw is happening. I know there's going to be a lot of pop and circumstance happening right now in the World Cup draw, but that doesn't take away for the excitement. Let me get my chair all set up. You can kind of tell that the World Cup is right next to me. It's not the real one, of course, but it is significant that we're finally here. We're so excited to see who is going to play against who. We already know, in a way, sort of who are the favorites right now. For me, I would say the top five teams that look like the favorites are Brazil, of course, Argentina, France. Um, I think probably Belgium. So probably most of the teams that are in pot one, with the exception of England and Portugal. So I think overall, um, hmm, I would say, yeah, like it's not too much of a hassle, but uh, I think so. And I'm wonder who the dark horses are. Like maybe a team that maybe doesn't have that star-studded team, but maybe could be one of those surprise teams. I know Denmark could be one. Denmark did a wonderful job during the Euros, and they have a really good team. Um, I think Switzerland could be one of those teams that could surprise a lot of people because they do have, some star power there. Senegal being the African champions. Yes, I will even say that Senegal looks like a team where they could do some damage. They have some really good stars. They're the African champions for a reason, right? Another dark team. I'm trying to think. Croatia could also they went to the final last time, so maybe they want to get some revenge and actually finish it off this time. So this could be the last time that we see a good Croatia team. So maybe that could be it. That could be a dark horse. Germany, I would say Germany could be a dark horse as well. I don't think I would tell them as they're the favorites because of the horrible, way they exited. Um, the World Cup last time. They also did a very poor performance in the Euros, and then they did qualify, but they didn't convince me of qualifying, if that makes any sense. So, um, who knows? So the World Cup draw is finally here. Hey, so I already have a good question right here. What would be a group of death for the USA? Oh, group of death. Oh, I know. I think I know exactly who could be the group of death right now. I think for me, it would have to be either Brazil, Argentina, or France. Any of those three, right? And if the US gets any of those three as being part of their group, then I would say Senegal or Poland. You want to avoid Poland or Senegal at all costs. I think in my expertise of like the 30 plus years that I've been watching soccer ever since the 94 World Cup. Senegal has like a good team. Like a lot of their players play in the Premier League, in La Liga, in Italian league, like you name it, they were really good. And then Poland, one man should scare the hell out of you. Robert Lewandowski, the Bayern Munich man. In a good day, he is ferocious. He does not play around, and we can probably be seeing his last World Cup right now. I think that one would be the worst. And then from pot four, Ecuador. You do not want to get with Ecuador. They are a very good team in South America. They actually, uh, during their qualifications, they did not disappoint, and they do have a couple of stars. You can't get Canada, so we can't get Canada. So something that you have to scratch off. And then also, one of the international playoffs that consists of Costa Rica and New Zealand. I don't think we can be drawn in that, just because there is a possibility that Costa Rica is going to be the fourth. Is going to be that team that wins against New Zealand, and they can't be two CONCACAF teams. There could be two European teams, but there cannot be two teams of the same confederation. So that where it goes. So I'm kind of hoping that we get that Euro playoff one. But the group of death, I would say Cameroon. We do not want to get Cameroon. If we get Senegal, if we don't get Senegal, and then Ecuador. So I think the worst case scenario for me would be Brazil, USA, Senegal or Poland, and then Cameroon or Ecuador. I think that would be the great. That would be horrible. So of course, right? It'd be bad. So oh my gosh. But you know what? This is a time for celebration. This is a time of, finally getting to see the World Cup where it belongs. But then again, think about this. We're also going to be seeing what could be the possibility of this young team going far because I don't know if anybody read this. This is actually based on fact. There was a report in which they were um, studying the age of all the teams that have qualified or have a chance to qualify. That also includes the teams that are in the European playoffs, the intercontinental playoffs as well. That the U.S. has the youngest team in the entire World Cup with the average age of 24 years old. All right. So age is going to be played a major factor, I would say. And I think that we have to take into account, like, we do have high aspirations for this US team, but we also have to be realistic and we also have to kind of step back and see how they could manage pressure. Because, look, one thing is playing for your club team at the highest level, but then the World Cup is a whole different beast, right? So, my aspirations for this US team at least is to get out of the group. If we get out of the group, regardless of who we play, I think we're in a good position. And then after we get out of the group, we can kind of see what teams we have to play. And if it's favorable, I think we can make a good run. But if not, then that's good because, again, for this US team, this is the World Cup that they needed in order for them to prepare for the next World Cup that's happening at home in 2026. So this is like a prep for these US teams. So this would be pretty good, right? I think the best case scenario, ooh, that would be pretty good. Okay, so I have a base case scenario. I think it would be Qatar, us, Tunisia, and the European playoff. I think that would be the best case scenario. Or another best case scenario, I think it would be England, because I do not think this England team is that scary, right? Us, Tunisia, or Morocco, whichever of those ones, and the European playoff spot, or Saudi Arabia. I think that would be a really good draw. Tell me if you think that that is a good draw right there. I would like to get that. So right now they're already counting down the countdown for the draw. We're going to see what's going to happen in the World Cup draw. That's going to be pretty awesome to see who are we going to play against, right? And everybody else. So all the managers are there. All the managers are there. So uh be aware of that. And I'm going to give you updated on if I can find, maybe if anybody can tell me a good website to see the simulation of the World Cup draw, I will really appreciate it. Drop it in the chat. Um, but also, I am looking forward to that England in the 24 draw for us. Yeah, yeah, that would be pretty good, huh? England in 2014. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about England. It'd be part three, and then can you Oh, you know what? If we don't get England, let's just say, for example, if the US doesn't get England, I really hope that Canada gets England. That would be the biggest troll ever. Like, imagine, because just think about that. That would be a mouth-watering matchup. England versus Canada. Canada against like Alfonso Davies, Cal Laren, all those guys, and Jonathan David. And then I'm pulling for Canada because that would basically mean that there's at least four nations that call it soccer, which is the US, Canada, uh no, uh, Japan, they call it soccer as well. And then I wish South Africa was there because they call it soccer too. So we will see. So right now they're showing in the FIFA World Cup draw who their mascot is going to be, and I guess it's the I don't know what you call it. It's what people in the Middle East wear. It's white and it has something around it. I don't know what to call it. Um, but I guess they're just kind of showing all the past World Cups that happened, all the mascots actually. That is actually cool that they're showing to it. Yeah. Yeah, I think so, right? Yeah, right. Canada and England would be awesome, right? England would be awesome. That would be a good matchup. I would pull for Canada so hard. I'm buying a jersey from them, so I can't wait. So they never start these World Cup draws on time. Let me tell you. So I would think there's going to be at least maybe two groups that have the group of death. Because think about this. Think about this. Just for example, just think about this. Imagine if this group has this: Brazil, Germany, Senegal, and then I believe Saudi Arabia. Imagine that group. Brazil, Germany, Senegal, and Saudi Arabia. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that? And think of the implications that would be, especially um for that revenge factor from Brazil, right? That Brazil wants to get that revenge, that humiliating defeat that they had against the Germans in the World Cup in 2014. So that's going to be cool to see. I really wish I was actually going to the World Cup, but unfortunately, you can buy tickets still. There's actually going to be a second round of tickets that are going to be sold in April 5th, right? So just a word, if anybody that's watching this stream, uh, FIFA just announced this morning that there are going to be more tickets being sold this April 5th, right? For anybody that is interested in um buying a ticket to go to the World Cup. But unfortunately, I have seen that a lot of the hotels already been booked and there aren't any more, that they're full, that they cannot have any more, and the only way to go to the World Cup is to actually stay out of Qatar and then drive in. I don't know how that's going to work, but they're saying here that they have more than enough uh hotels to accommodate everyone, but we will see. We will see if that's the case. So as I'm talking to you guys, I'm noticing that I think the end of that preview of the World Cup, they're still doing like kind of like a preview video of showing Qatar culture, the language, the beauty of the beautiful game around the world, and that the whole world is going to be in Qatar. So that's what we're seeing right now. Usually that is the case. They usually have some sort of like celebration, like concert slash performance showing like what's the culture of the country that is, hosting the World Cup. So that would be pretty cool. So I would say there are many scenarios in which the US could be in the group of death, could be in the group of life, or it could be a manageable group, right? A manageable group would be something like this. Let's say, for example, let's say we got Portugal, right? We got Portugal, the US, then we get South Korea or Japan, and then we get Ghana, right? That would be a manageable group because Ghana, we know, just very, we're very familiar. We're practically brothers now because we've been playing Ghana ever since 2006, right? So that would be funny if we get Ghana once again. It's kind of like the same thing that happened to Argentina. So if you notice, for the past 3 or 4, actually, no, I mistake. Actually, 3 World Cups, Argentina has played Nigeria. They played Nigeria in 2010. They played them in 2014, and then they played them again in 2018. And chances were, if Nigeria were going to the World Cup, we'll be watching them play against Argentina once more. But now there is a chance that Argentina could get a African nation, could be Senegal. That would be a pretty good matchup, right? Let let the big boys, deal with the group of death, and then we'll see what happens. So I think it would be pretty good. So, oh man, I just wish they just stop with the pomp and circumstance. Just get to the draw already. We already know the rules. We want to get to the draw, right? For me, I would say Qatar, USA, uh, Tunisia would be, and the Euro playoff would be a pretty good draw if I were the US. Um, but everyone else is going to have the same thing. If I was Canada, I would love to play against Portugal or England, even Spain. That would be a pretty good matchup. I don't think it would be a problem. And then who to play for pot two, you can either play Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, Uruguay, Switzerland, or Croatia, right? So I would say maybe play Switzerland. That would be a pretty good group. And then from pot three, I guess you would play against maybe South Korea, Iran, Morocco. That would be pretty good. But we'll see. We'll see. So right now, hopefully that the little ceremony or concert or whatever is going on out there that I'm seeing right in front of me is over. So we got to get to the draw, guys. That's all people want. We don't want all this pomp and circumstance. So it's getting close. It is getting close, guys. It's like these magical golden gates opening, kind of like something that you see from Hollywood. Thoughts on England? England has a good team. England has a good team. They did make it to the final of the European Championship. But I will say, this is the thing I will say about England. The only reason why they went to the final is because most of their games that they played were in England. All right. You get that home field advantage. But they are still a good team and they do have really good strikers. Right. So England's favorable draw, I would say you guys could play Mexico. You guys could play Uruguay, Switzerland, or Croatia. Those would be a pretty good draw for you from pot two. From pot three, Iran, Japan, Morocco, Serbia, Poland, Korea Republic, Tunisia. Any of those guys, like, as long as you guys uh, do not get Senegal. Do not get Senegal, man. And for Cameroon, dude, yeah, avoid Cameroon, avoid Senegal, avoid Canada. Canada, guys. For those England fans right there, avoid Canada. I'm telling you guys, Canada, they have some good players with Jonathan David, Alfonso Davies, Kyle Larin. Ecuador, avoid at all costs. But every other team, I think you should be fine. I think at least England should make it to. Well, you guys made it all the way. I'm trying to think. Maybe. I think maybe you guys can make it all the way to maybe the quarters or semifinals at least. Right? So we'll see what happens there. Every team in pot one has a chance to go far in the World Cup. Portugal, I don't see going too far because they can't lie on Ronaldo that much. I don't know. Like, I think Ronaldo's on his last legs, and you can kind of see it with his Manchester United play. He hasn't been doing so good, so we'll see. Man, why are they still talking? Just go with the draw. But anyway, everybody's everyone's holding their breath. Everyone wants to go to have a favorable draw, right? For England, I would say the most difficult draw for them would be England, Germany, Senegal, and Ecuador. That would be Oof, that would be a tough draw right there. Or even Canada. Canada would be a tough draw. So let me make the scenarios right now as we wait. So for Brazil, I guess the easiest path for them to get out of the group. Well, Brazil can smoke all of them. Let's just be honest with that. So they could be Mexico, they could be Netherlands, they could be Denmark, they can be Germany. Germany, I would love Brazil to play Germany just for that revenge factor. You can play Uruguay because they're South American. So Switzerland, they'll beat them. USA, they'll beat them. Croatia, they'll beat them. Right. For pot three, Senegal, that would be a very interesting match just because of the star players, but I think Brazil edges them out. Brazil is always going to be the favorite, right? Brazil is always going to be the favorite no matter who they play. That's just how much pressure they have, right? I wouldn't want to be Brazil, but I wouldn't mind having that talent, right? If that makes any sense. Iran, they will smoke. Japan, they haven't played Japan in a World Cup since 2006. And that would be pretty cool because just for the anime lore, especially if you guys watch Captain Tsubasa or any type of soccer anime, just the huge implications. Because if you go to Japan, you know that Japan, they think highly of Brazil. They think Brazil is like is just the magisterial of football, right? Of soccer, football, whatever you call it. And that would be pretty cool. Morocco, they'll smoke. Serbia, they'll smoke. Poland, they'll smoke. South Korea, they'll smoke. Tunisia, yeah. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what group Brazil is in. They're always going to be Brazil, right? Brazil's always going to be the guy. That's why I have my Brazilian jersey right here, right? Love Brazil. I love Brazil ever since the '94 World Cup because fun fact, when the World Cup was here in the United States, my parents actually bought me tickets to go to the World Cup here in close to Pasadena in Los Angeles. And the first match that I went to was USA versus Colombia, in which the US beat Colombia 2-1. And then they got tickets for the final, in which it was between Brazil and Italy, and it went to a penalty. It went to penalties, and yeah, it was awesome. So that's when they got their record 4 World Cups at the time. So Brazil has no problem. Belgium, I think they would want to avoid Germany. They want to avoid Denmark for sure. Uruguay, I don't know. That could be an interesting matchup. Switzerland could be also interesting. USA, I think they could beat USA really easily. Croatia, they could beat them. Mexico, they can beat them. Netherlands, I would say another interesting match, but Netherlands hasn't convinced me yet. Ever since they missed both the World Cup and the Euros, I don't know. This will be their first tournament since 2014. Think about that. So Netherlands haven't been in either the Euros or the World Cup. So this will be a testing to them. From pot three, let's see what we have. Senegal, I would not want to play against Senegal if you're Belgium. Iran, you could beat them. Japan, you had that scare last World Cup where Japan was up 2-0, but then Belgium came roaring back to have one of those epic comebacks. Morocco, you could beat them. Serbia, that would be a very interesting match. I think that would end in a draw. Poland would be an interesting one against Belgium, right? Because Belgium is in the last legs of their golden generation. So I think Poland would really be a team to maybe, change the way they approach the game, because Lewandowski is a beast, man. He is a beast. If you give him service, he does not miss. So let's see. Pot four, you want to avoid Cameroon. You want to avoid Ecuador. And Ghana, maybe. But I haven't been too convinced about Ghana. So that would be a nice scenario. France. Look, this is the thing about France. And I don't know if France is playing with that relaxed mentality or that, you know, where we could if they're gonna continue the curse of the World Cup champions. So a question just came by. Where can you watch? So you can watch this in FS1 if you're in the United States. You can watch it on Telemundo on channel 52 here in Los Angeles, or in the States, channel 52. NBC Universe also. You can also look at it on online. You can go on ESPN FC. They're actually showing just Twitter updates. So if you are in the States, you can watch this either in FS1, uh, NBC Universo, or Telemundo. Those are the ones, right? If you need to watch them. So right now I'm watching it from FS1. So right now there's just a little bit of a little concert happening. I don't think the draw is going to start until 9:30, if I'm being honest. And right now they're actually rolling all the flags of the qualified teams so far. So it's just like a small little concert. All right, so where I was. Okay, so France. So what I talked about France. France is a team where they already won the World Cup, right? And will they continue the curse? Will they continue the curse of being World Cup champions? And what I mean by that, if you noticed in the last 3 World Cups, the defending champions have all lost in the group stage. They did not leave the group stage. It goes all the way back to 2010. So in 2006, Italy won the World Cup. They did not get out of the group of that World Cup. And let me remind you what was in that World Cup with Italy. Italy had themselves, Paraguay, I think Slovakia, and then New Zealand. They could not get out of that group. It was terrible. And everybody called them old, and they were. They were old, right? So they didn't get out of the group. Let's move on to 2014. Spain won the World Cup in 2010, but they couldn't get out of the group. And look at the teams that Spain was in. They were themselves, Australia, Chile, and the Netherlands. And it was kind of like a rematch between the Netherlands and Spain. And Netherlands spanked them. Spanked them 5-1. Oof. It is amazing. And then just this recent World Cup that happened in 2018, Germany won the World Cup in 2014. They had themselves, Mexico, South Korea, and Sweden. They couldn't get out of the group. They actually finished last, if I remember correctly. They could not even get a result against South Korea, for crying out loud. And South Korea was already eliminated. But they were hoping that Mexico was going to take care of business, that because if they would have won that game, they could have gone out of the group, but there was just no way. So is France going to have that same curse, right? I know, right? I've been there's just watch a lot of reruns right now. I don't know what's taking so long. I don't know why they're doing all this pop in circumstances. If they say that the World Cup draw starts at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific, then just say that it's not going to start that day. Just say, okay, for the next hour, we're just going to show you a bunch of guys, coaches going into the stadium. We're going to tell you how the rules work, and then how we're going to sort the draw, and then we're going to give you like a mini concert, and we're also going to show you the mascot of the World Cup. So I don't know what's taking so long, but now the president of FIFA is up in the podium right now, so we are seeing what is happening in Qatar. So he's kind of giving you like the 411 of what to expect on the draw. All right. So after he finishes, I'll go back to seeing who's going to be on which group, right? All right. So let's see. Oh, so France, I would say I don't think France is gonna fall in the same category, but then I did say that about with Germany too, and I love that German team because I thought Germany was gonna do back-to-back championships because their team was stacked last time. But I don't know what happened. There was just a fallout between the coach and the team. It was just oh, it was terrible. It was ugly, very very ugly. Because leaning towards that World Cup, Germany looked very vulnerable. And Mexico, Sweden, and Korea all could smell that. They could smell blood in the water. So between now and November, that could change. And I think that's not going to happen to France, but I'm not, I'm kind of like leaning in the 50% range because, you know, if France gets in a bad slump and they're not producing, and then maybe their club uh, fixtures aren't doing so well, that could also affect the team. And we can see another World Cup team falling out, right? But just for the sake of argument, let's say that they don't do that. Let's say they move on. So France, they would not want to play against Denmark for sure. Switzerland, that would be a revenge matcher. Because remember, Switzerland did beat France in the Euros last year. Um, let's see, Netherlands. That could be one or two ways. Croatia, another rematch, a little revenge factor. So the teams that France would love to play, I think they could easily beat is Mexico, uh, Uruguay, and USA. I think those are the teams that would be most favorable for France. For pot three, again, avoid Senegal. Avoid it as the plague, please, because that is a team that could really do some damage. And then the rest of the teams should be quite okay, maybe with the exception of Serbia and Poland, right? But that doesn't. But then if they do get a European team in pot two, they can't get another European team in pot three, so that could happen. And pot four, avoid Cameroon. I would say avoid Ecuador and maybe Ghana as well, because Ghana do have a couple of good players there. So that is some of the teams that I would think would be best to avoid, right? The next thing, let's see, Argentina. Argentina, I would call them like one of the top five favorites for me. So the team that I would want to avoid is Germany, because Argentina just hasn't had a good record against Germany for the past World Cups. Germany beat Argentina in the quarterfinals um, back in 2006, then in 2010, and then let's not forget that they lost the final against Germany in 2014. So Argentina would want to avoid Germany. I would Uruguay, that would be a very interesting thing, but I don't think that's going to happen because they are from the same confederation, so we can scratch them out. They could easily beat Mexico. They can beat Switzerland, USA, and Croatia. But Croatia would be a good one because it's another revenge factor. Because remember, Croatia did beat Argentina in the last World Cup in the group stage, right? Pot three, again, avoid Senegal. Avoid Senegal, but then the rest of the teams should be easy. You know what would be a very good matchup against Argentina? Poland, because it would be Messi with Robert Lewandowski. And what better way to put all those frustrations, all those embarrassing Bayern Munich 7-1 or 7-0 jokes aside if you can do a thumping against Poland? That would be the greatest thing ever to happen to France to Argentina. I am pulling for Argentina to get Poland. I would love to do that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So uh and then pot four, they can get Ecuador, so we don't have to worry about that. And also they're not going to put the intercontinental playoff. So it's not going to be Peru versus the Asian representative. So I would try to avoid uh, Cameroon, Ghana, and I think that's about it, right? And let's see, England. I already told you what I think about England's. They want to avoid Germany of all costs, but they did beat Germany in the Euros, so Senegal, you want to avoid, and then Canada would be a very interesting matchup, I would say. Spain, okay, Spain, they are a very good team. Spain would want to avoid Germany, and they want to avoid Denmark. Those are the two teams I would say Spain should really avoid. But then the rest should be easy pickings for Spain. They'll beat Mexico, they'll beat Netherlands, they'll beat Switzerland, they'll beat USA, and they'll beat Croatia. Pot three, Senegal would be a very interesting matchup just for the fact um, that there's a lot of you know people from Senegal that do play in the La Liga, so that would be interesting. And Iran, that would be pretty easy. Japan, easy. Morocco, Serbia, Poland would be a very interesting one because just the implications of La Liga versus a lot of those players that play in the Bundesliga, right? South Korea would be interesting, and then Tunisia, and then pot four again. You don't want to play against Cameroon or you don't want to play against Ecuador, but I think even if they get any of those teams in pot four, I think they'll be fine. And then Portugal as the last one. Uh, it can go either way. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this Portuguese team. They have to win a playoff just to get into the World Cup, but they do have Cristiano Ronaldo. That I don't. I'm not that scared about this Portugal team. This team just hasn't convinced me. It's been kind of like a downward trajectory, and I don't know how this Portugal team is going to look like after Cristiano Ronaldo is gone. Because after Cristiano Ronaldo is gone, ooh, I don't know who can step up there. I can't see this team. So we're anxiously waiting for the draw, guys. Just like you guys. Oh my gosh, it's just they just cannot stop talking. Like, let's just get to the damn draw. But again, it is fine. It is fine. I think overall, let's hope, let's pray to the soccer gods, the football gods, anything, any celestial football, soccer celestials to give us a helping hand. But then again, I do cheer for other teams as well, so I'm not too worried about that. I already got my Brazil jersey, I got my Argentina jersey, and then I had so many jerseys, but I just couldn't put them all in frame. I have a Germany jersey, I have Netherlands, I have Croatia, I have Peru, I have South Korea, Japan, Belgium, uh, Italy. I'm sorry, Italy. Oh my god. Oh, this just doesn't is easy for Italy. I'm sorry, guys. Um, who else? What other national team jersey do I have? I think that's it. I think that's it. I think those are the jerseys that I have so far, but we will see. All right, guys, so it's finally going to start. I think it's finally going to start the World Cup draw, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. So I'm gonna make sure. Uh, let's see. So, so I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put in. I'm writing it down like who is against who. So right now we already know. Let's see. So all right. So the FIFA World Cup trophy has finally been presented, right? So that means that the draw is finally going to take place. So are you guys excited? So let's see. So we already know that Group A is going to be Qatar, right? That's a for sure fact. The thing next that we have to kind of figure out is who is going to be on the next group, and I'll be making a lot of those presentations, and I'm going to keep it on the chat and let you know what is going to be the next thing, right? So For now, I guess they're just gonna give just a couple of introductions of how how the selection is gonna be, and I'm right now getting ready to let you guys know how things are gonna shape up. So keep the suspense going. Let's get this suspense going, man. Cause let's see what we can do. F 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and I'm just getting ready for what is going to come up. So we already know that Group 1A is going to be Qatar because usually the host nation is the first game that takes place in Qatar in November 21st. So that's not a big surprise, right? Um, so so that what we have. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so all right. And if you guys know a good website of where we can like do like the draw, how to make it, that'd be pretty nice. But I'll try look for one right now. All right, so let's see. So right now they're just doing like an intro of what is going on. So let's see. Just give me one sec. I'm trying to see if I can get like a better understanding of where I can get this. There are simulators, but I kind of wish that you could, do one yourself because that would I would do that. Hmm. All right. So let's see. So that's not it yet. So let's see. Hmm. So there is one, but then it does it like randomly. I don't like that one. So they're showing right now like a commercial of how the World Cup is going to unite the Middle East, and football is a world sport. Everyone loves it. You know, it's a combination of culture, football, soccer, whatever you call it. So the World Cup draw is finally going to start, guys. So it's going to be very fun stuff. So the first part, we know that it's not going to be that exciting because we're going to know who the head of the groups are going to be and which group they're going to be in. So so we got Group A, Group B, Group C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, and that okay. All right, guys, gonna finally start. My gosh, it's gonna taking so long. It is finally gonna start. Man, like it's gonna start like after an hour. They should have just said after an hour. Let's go. But don't worry, you guys can watch the whole craziness and my reaction. I'm gonna put timestamps after this is all done. I know Thanksgiving Cup, right? Oh, so I have a good question. This is like, wow, 20 November 21 Thanksgiving Cup. I know, right? I spent a year in Qatar and with the military. It's crazy out there. What teams? have the advantage of this climate. I don't know if any team has the advantage. Probably Qatar is like the one team I would say has the advantage. I would say maybe South American teams and even African teams might have the advantage, but they are part of North Africa, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who has the advantage because it's not humid. It's not going to be like Brazil where it was very very humid and then you can kind of see how it was taking a toll in a lot of the European teams. So when you're talking about a desert, which there is basically no moisture, right? I think that it is going to be something. So, oh man. So I think we're going to see, what this team is made out of. Any of the teams, right? So, we're going to see what this team is made of. So right now the World Cup draw is going to start right now. Let's see what has in store for us. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be fun, right? And again, they're going to do all that mumbo jumbo of like, oh, only two European teams could be in the same group and the other confederations can't, right? So, and Cafu is from Brazil. Man, he is looking good for that age. I remember him when he played for the 2002 World Cup team in Brazil that won the World Cup in South Korea and Japan. That the only joint World Cup up to date, but now there's going to be another joint World Cup, the USA, Canada, and Mexico. So we're gonna see who. So they're just like showing up a lot of like retired um, international footballers that are going to be picking uh the little balls out of the little jar and seeing who is going to be grouped against who. So I'm not nervous. Are you guys nervous? I don't think I am. I think I'll be nervous once we know who we're going to play against, right? So we're right now yeah, we're just seeing a bunch of retired footballers in the stage going to do the World Cup draw. So they get invited to those things. So that's going to be fun. Oh man. They're just going to introduce a bunch of like old guys right now. So we don't know what's going on here. It's so boring. Just get to the draw. Yeah, I need to see if there's a link. I need to find a link where it live updates the draw because that would be much easier, right? All right. So far I haven't seen one because it hasn't started yet. That's the thing. It hasn't started. So because there's other ones where it's a simulator, but it doesn't do that good. So right now, they just keep introducing some old players. Oh my gosh. We don't need to know their life story, guys. Come on. We got to get in front of this draw, please. so right now, hopefully we're finished with introductions and let's just get to the damn draw. That's all we want. And no, they keep getting more and more. Like, how many more? I think we need like 4 or 5 more people. It didn't need to be this hard. Ugh. Like, it's cool and all, but they could have done this earlier. But I guess they just want the suspense to keep going. So we'll see. We'll see. We will see if this is if this goes any further on introductions. We don't need to. So there's a player that played for Qatar from 1979 to 1992, which is interesting because Qatar has never qualified for the World Cup, and they're actually going to be the first nation to host the World Cup in which they did not qualify for the previous World Cup. So they did not qualify for Russia last time around. So that would be interesting. There's a lot of pressure in Qatar to get to the next round since they are the defending Asian champions. And that's about it. But nothing too um, big of aspirations for Qatar, in my opinion. I think Qatar would be happy if they can get out of the group, and depending who they group against, because can you imagine a Qatar? A nightmare scenario for them would be it would be Qatar, Germany, Senegal, and maybe Ecuador. Oof, that would be just a mountain to climb. That would be horrible for them to climb, but who knows? Who knows? But knowing Qatar, knowing FIFA, they might put something under the table to make Qatar's draw a little bit more favorably because they got the money to do it. I'm surprised that South Africa were the first host nation not to get out of the group stage. Right? I'm still thinking about that. I thought South Africa was going to go up next to the group stage, but then they had a horrible game against Uruguay, I believe. And all they needed was they needed to win by goal differential. So we'll see. So again, they're going to introduce the 32 nations that made it to the World Cup and how they're going to be divided into 4 pots, yada, yada, yada. We already know. You don't have to tell us all this stuff, okay? So that's based on FIFA rankings. Oh, gosh, it is too much. It is too much. But overall, we're still thinking of those playoff spots that we don't know the entire 32 team. There's still three spots left that have yet to be determined. Excuse me. So pot one, we already know who they are. Pot two, you already know. They're just giving you just formalities. Just formalities, guys. Pot three, we already know who they are. let's see what happens. So they're just giving you the rules of how the draws are going to work. So they're going to tell you exactly like so there's a good question that someone raised up, right? So they said do you know how many stadiums they will play in? Yeah, it's a small country, but I heard that there are 8 stadiums. 8 stadiums for this World Cup. And every single one of those stadiums are very close by. So there is not a lot of traveling you have to do. I think it's going to be one of the most least traveled World Cups that has ever been played, and it's a very dense area. So it probably means that it only takes about like the farthest stadium from I think from the capital from Doha is like maybe 30 to 45 minutes far. So So it is going to be 8 stadiums, I believe. But let me check that again. So let me see if that is correct because I want to make sure that I have my facts right. I did hear there were 8 stadiums. So let's see. So give me one sec, guys. Let me one sec. Hmm. So right now I'm at their FIFA destination. So the World Cup, so the draw is finally happening, guys. I still think it is 8. I think it's 8 stadiums, and there should be more than enough. So we already know the first draw, so I'm gonna keep you updated on that. So we already know Qatar is number 1. All right, so Group A is Qatar. All right, guys. So finally, I was falling asleep here. All right, so Group B, guys. Let's see what we have. Who do we have on Group B? Well, not yet. So there's there. So right now it's just formality. So okay, another thing about the World Cup draw, if you guys don't know, when you are drawn for the group, they're gonna just tell you which position you're gonna be in that group, and Qatar is always gonna be 1A. So let's see who's the next. England. England is going to be in Group B. So England will be in Group B, guys. So England will be in Group B. And all of the top groups are going to be on the top of the table. So they're the ones that are going to be played. So that is Group B. So let's see who Group C is going to be. Argentina. Ooh, nice. Okay. So Argentina is in Group C, top Group C, guys. So Argentina is in Group C. Group C, guys. All right. Let's see Group D. France. Ooh, so that means we can potentially see another rematch if Argentina and France comes in. So France is in Group D, guys. So we already know they're A1. All right, so let's see who is going to be in Group E. Spain. So Group E will be Spain. All right, so far we're just getting the top of the groups. The next one is going to be the one that a lot of fans are going to be interested in. All right, let's see who it is. Belgium. Belgium. So Belgium is going to be in Group F. All right. So the last two is going to be either Brazil or Argentina. So I mean Brazil and Portugal. So who's it going to be? Brazil. Brazil is going to be in Group G. So Brazil is going to be in Group G. So these are just formalities. So we're already knowing who is going to be in the group. So the last one is very obvious. It's going to be Portugal. Very obvious. All right. So now this is where things get interesting, guys. So now we're going to see the next group. How it's going to be in uh for the next one. So I'm going to have it scroll down so you'll see it at the bottom. I am updating all of uh the groups so you'll see who is playing against who. So now it's going to go to pot 2, guys. So now we're going to see who are the lucky son of a guns that have to play against Qatar. But then I would say I wouldn't be so happy because Qatar is the home nation and you wouldn't want to play against them. So let's see who has let's see who's going to get them. So let's see who's going to be against Qatar. Who's it going to be? Netherlands. Oh my gosh. Oh, Qatar. Oh my goodness. Oof. So Netherlands and Qatar, guys. Netherlands and Qatar. Yeah, they pick everything in pot 1 first. They have to do pot 1. That's the first thing. So now pot 2. Oof. USA. Oh, USA against England. We're getting England again. England. Oh my word. USA versus England. My goodness me. USA versus England, guys. We got England, guys. We got England. So that means we're going to play England for the third time in the World Cup. Wow. Wow. So England. Wow. Uh, oh, Argentina versus Mexico. Ooh. That is something right there. So Argentina and Mexico, guys. Oh, well, I'm not too worried about Argentina. I think they can beat them. Mexico, it could get worse for Mexico. Let me just say that. So so you're noticing on the one below. You're already noticing who they're playing against. So it is Mexico versus Argentina. All right. So very interesting. So far, the group looks manageable. So far, it all depends what we get on the pot three. We have to avoid Senegal for if you're USN. Denmark. So Denmark versus France. Oh, that's the one I was telling you about, guys. That's the one. That's the one that I was telling you that France should be very wary of this Denmark team. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So Denmark. Denmark. Yes, yes, I'm telling you, it's gonna happen again. D3. So Denmark. But guess what? The game between the US versus England, that is not the first game. So the game probably is gonna be the last game because or maybe it's the second game. So it has big implications there. Let's see who it is. Germany versus Spain, guys. Germany versus Spain. Germany. Germany. So Germany versus Spain. Spain versus Germany. Ooh, wow, that's kind of looking like the group of death right there. That's looking like the group of death. Spain and Germany. If they get Senegal there, that is the group of death. Ooh, wow, this is some interesting stuff. So they're not going to play each other yet. It's going to be again. They're going to be on the third one. But can you imagine the U.S. playing Qatar or the next one? It all depends on who Group A is going to be. I feel like Netherlands could top that group. Qatar can top that group, but then it all depends who they get in pot three. Oh, let's hope we get a favorable one. Croatia against Belgium, I believe. But they might move things around depending on the confederation thing. So we will see. We will see. So I have it on mute, guys, because I don't want it to like go through that. So Croatia, F4. So Croatia and Belgium. Okay. Croatia and Belgium. So we got Belgium and Croatia. And now it's gonna be group G. And if they get Uruguay, so Uruguay is actually gonna go to group H, guys, with Portugal. So that is gonna be it. So Uruguay and Portugal. So that's gonna be in that pot right there. It's not gonna be with Brazil. So I the last so Portugal is gonna get Uruguay. So that means Switzerland is gonna be with Brazil. Yeah. So the last one would be Switzerland and Brazil. So Switzerland and Brazil meet again. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting stuff right there. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So far that group in Qatar is getting a little tougher. So let's see what pot 3 has in store, right? We're going to see what it is. Again, if you're a USA fan, you want to get you do not want to get Senegal. Everybody wants to get rid of Senegal. Don't please. Oh my gosh. So Switzerland, we already know they're going to be in that group, right? So all right. So Brazil versus Switzerland. So Brazil is okay. Looking good, looking good. So we already got out of pot 2. So pot 3, guys. This is where things get interesting. This is either gonna make us or break us. That depends. So let's see. Ooh. If Qatar gets Senegal, let's see. What do we get? What do we get? Iran. Oh, that's such an easy one. Oh my gosh. Easy. So Iran, Qatar, and Netherlands group for group A. Also, there so Iran. Never mind, because it's actually the same confederation. So it's actually going to go to group. So Iran's going to be with the U.S. So my bad. So Iran. So a lot of revenge teams right now. Interesting. So a rematch from the 1998 World Cup. Interesting. Well, because Iran and Qatar are from the same confederation. Senegal. Oh, I Qatar has Senegal. Oh, that could have been much. That could have been a lot worse for the U.S. Let me tell you. Ooh, wow. Yeah, wow. So, 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 okay. So Senegal now is in Iran's group. That is crazy. Wow. Wow. No. Yeah. So Poland is gonna go to Argentina and Mexico. Okay. So we're seeing right now, so we got Argentina, Mexico, and Poland for that one. Qatar is Qatar did not get any favors, man. Qatar did not get any favors. So the next one that was drawn was Serbia. So Serbia, you would think it's going to be with France and Denmark, right? So France and Denmark. They're thinking they're gonna push it to Brazil's group, so it's gonna be Serbia and Switzerland. So Switzerland, Brazil, and Serbia. Oh, Brazil's having an easy draw, guys. Wow. Very, very easy draw. Uh for um for Brazil. All right. So Brazil has Switzerland and Serbia. It's because they don't want to have the same confederations on the other groups. So the next ones, let's see. So France and Denmark. Who is it going to be? Tunisia. Tunisia. So Tunisia is going to be in the same group as France and Denmark, guys. Wow. Okay. So France and Denmark. France and Denmark. D4. Okay. So we're seeing that. So the only teams left are Japan, Morocco, and South Korea. So let's see who they're gonna go with in Spain and Germany. Japan. So Japan is going to be in Group E with Spain and Germany. Wow. So we have the next one. Oh, they're actually going to put the position. So E4. All right. So they're already down there. E4. Last uh, group is going to be South Korea, I believe, and Morocco. Those are the ones that are left. So who's going to be lucky number F? Morocco. So Morocco is going to be with Group F. So they're going to be in Group F. Morocco. So Morocco is with Belgium, Croatia, and Belgium. And then the last one for Group H is going to be South Korea. Very interesting stuff. All right, so now this is where things get interesting because now we're gonna see how the groups are gonna look like. So far, we are seeing how the groups are looking like so far. So let's see. So right now they're just placing where South Korea is going to be. So let's see what we have with the remaining groups. So last one, guys. Last one. We're gonna see what we have. So we have Cameroon, Canada, Ecuador, Saudi Arabia, Ghana. So the only teams we cannot play is Saudi Arabia because they are an Asian country. We can't play against Canada, and we cannot play against the intercontinental playoff between Costa Rica and New Zealand. So that only leaves the European playoff spot, Ghana, Ecuador, and Cameroon. So let's see what Qatar has. So they can't have Asia, they can't have African. So if we get one of those guys, playoff one. So so the playoff, so the play I don't know which playoff that one is. I don't know if it's the Asian playoff or the South American playoff, but that one actually is going to go to group D. So that's going to be the first playoff. So that's going to be group D. All right. So let's see. So this one's going to be all over the place. There is no crazy thing. So who is next? Ecuador. So Ecuador. So who's gonna be in Ecuador's group? Also, it's gonna be in Group A. So Group A is already finished. So Ecuador. So we already got our first official of the group. So it's gonna be Qatar, Netherlands, Senegal, and Ecuador. So that is gonna be the group. A very okay group, I think. That Senegal and Netherlands probably are going to win that. Qatar, it would need a miracle to at least beat Ecuador and Netherlands. So, and it sucks to be them. So let's see who we got. Group B. Let's see what we got. Saudi Arabia. I don't think we get that one because it's in Asia. So they're going to go to Group C, guys. So Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. So that is a very uh, interesting draw for Mexico, actually. Not a bad draw for Mexico. I think it's manageable for Mexico. I think Argentina, Mexico, or Poland, one of those three are probably going to be the ones that are going to go through, all intents and purposes. So who do we get? Who's the next one? Playoff two. So the playoff two, if I'm remembering, that one is either the Costa Rica one or New Zealand one or the Asian and South American one. So that's going to be in Group E. All right. So we're basically running out of teams. So the only ones that we can actually play against is Cameroon, Ghana, or the European playoff. And I'm really hoping it's that European playoff. So who is next? The European playoff guys. I think we get that one. I think we get that. Group B. Hope it's Group B. That's going to go to Group B, I think. Yeah, we get that playoff spot, guys. Ooh, that is nice. That is nice. So we get that European playoff. That is awesome. Playoff. That is awesome. So we got some scouting to do. That's a manageable group. I think we can get out of that one. That's awesome. That's nice. That is awesome. So who's gonna be the next one? Canada? Maybe? Cameroon. So Cameroon is going to be in, I believe, they're kind of checking because I think Morocco is actually an African team. So they might be going to Group G. Yeah. So it's Group G. So Cameroon. So that is it. So Cameroon, Brazil, Serbia, and Cameroon. So Canada and Ghana for the last spot. So they can either be against Belgium, Morocco, Croatia, or they're going to be with Portugal, Uruguay, or South Korea. That is going to be a mouth-watering one. Ghana. So Ghana is going to be with Belgium. Oh, wait, no. So it's going to be Portugal, Uruguay, and South Korea because Morocco is an African group. So Canada is going to be with Belgium, Croatia, and Morocco, I believe. Yep, that's it. Wow. So Canada is the last one to get in. We dodged Ghana. I know, right? We dodged Ghana. That's so perfect. That's a manageable group, guys. This is a lot of revenge factors there. Canada. Canada. So Canada is gonna be in Group F. So Canada is gonna be with Belgium, Croatia, and Morocco. Not a bad draw for Canada. And then Portugal gets Uruguay, South Korea, and I believe they do get uh Ghana. They get Ghana. Nice. So not a bad draw, guys. Not a bad draw. So let me see if I can get maybe like the updated version of the World Cup draw so that way you can kind of see it, hopefully. But so far I'm gonna actually go down the list. So check on the on below. So the first thing, so I'm gonna take that off right now. So let's see. So the first one is Group A: Qatar, Netherlands, Senegal, and Ecuador. Right, that is Group A. Group B is England, USA, Iran, and the Euro playoff, which will be either Ukraine, Wales, or Scotland. The next one, Group C, is Argentina, Mexico, Poland, Saudi Arabia, right? The next group, Group D, it's going to be France, Denmark, Tunisia, and the Intercontinental Playoff. And then the next one is Group E. It is Spain, Germany, Japan, and then the other Intercontinental Playoff, which I believe is probably going to be between New Zealand and Costa Rica. So the other one, the Intercontinental Playoff, will probably be it's going to be the Asian or South American representative. So if you go back to the France, Denmark, and Tunisia, the playoff, it's either going to be Australia, UAE, or Peru, any of those teams. And for the other intercontinental playoff, Spain, Germany, Japan, it would be either New Zealand or Costa Rica. So those are going to be the games. Um, So let's go to the next one. So let's go. So for this one, Group F, Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, Canada. So Canada, I actually fancy their chances. They get to play with two big European powerhouses. Not too much, but then Morocco is not that bad. I think they can get out of the group. No problem. And the next thing here, the last group. Uh so the last group here is interesting to say the least. So it's Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, and Ghana. So Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, and Ghana, right? So those are the ones we don't get Ghana again, miraculously. So um, that is gonna be awesome to say the least. So so right now I'm trying to get the full way so you can see it, the World Cup draw, guys. So that way, I'm not like showing it to you one by one, but we're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it down uh how we're gonna do it. So let's see. So maybe I can get a final draw here. They haven't updated it yet, which kind of sucks. I wish they had it updated. So I'm trying to find a place where they have it updated. So let's see. So let's see if someone has that. So let's see. All right, here we go. So I got it. So let me get out of this screen here. All right. So let me get to the one uh other screen so you can see the entire World Cup process, right? So here it is, guys. Here it is. So this is the World Cup draw. Let me see if I can get it maybe a little bigger. All right. So I think that's good enough. All right. So we can see how the World Cup draw is looking like. So if you can notice, Group A has Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands. So I'm thinking it's between Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands going into the next round. The next group is England, Iran, United States, and then the playoff spot between Scotland, Wales, and Ukraine. So I think that England and the United States should be going through. And this is not a biased thing. I just think that they have a little bit more quality. Group C, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Argentina, of course, are going to go into the next round. And then that second place is going to be a battle between Mexico and Poland. So I think it's going to really matter that first game against Mexico. If they can win against Poland, they're really going to go up uphill battle. So that Poland game is going to be very important in Poland as well. Group D is going to be France, the intercontinental playoff between Australia, the UAE, and Peru. Denmark and Tunisia. So France, I expect them to move on, and then Denmark as the second. Group E is going to be Spain, Costa Rica, or New Zealand playoff. Germany and Japan. It's going to be Spain and Germany going through. Group F is going to be Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia. Belgium, I would say, would be the first, and then it's going to be a battle between Canada and Croatia. So it all depends on that game. So I think that it's either one of those games, either one of those teams will win to get to the second round. Group uh, G, I believe, is Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. So I think Brazil is going to go through, and then Switzerland, I think, is going to go through as well. And then the last one, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea. I think it's going to be Portugal and Uruguay. So I think it's a pretty good group, but that group for the United States looks very manageable, very good. It is awesome. I think we couldn't have asked for a better draw than this. I think this was perfect for us. It's oh, this makes me so excited, guys, that we finally got the draw. So, how about you guys that are watching the stream? How do you guys feel about US's chances? How about your other teams that are you cheering for? What do you think of the draw? I think it's good. I think the USA got a very, very favorable draw. And I think that we should at least get out of the round of 16. No problem. So that is it, guys. That is it. That is the end of the draw. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. And again, this is some really cool stuff. We've got to start preparing now until the World Cup happens. So again, thank you again for joining me and Kicking Balls FC. Make sure you join me on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Twitter as well. So thank you so much, guys. Take it easy. Peace out. Have a happy Friday because the US is finally going back to the World Cup just a couple months away and can't wait to see that awesome fall World Cup, right? Vamos. Let's go, guys. So take care, guys, and have a happy weekend.